Today's show is brought to you by Epicor. Every team knows the value of hard work, of taking pride in what you build, in practicing every detail to get the best results. But no one player, no matter how amazing, can do it all alone. Working together makes getting the wins easier. At Epicor, the All-Stars are the hardworking manufacturers and distributors who create and deliver the things we all need, from aerospace to electrical to medical devices. Epicor ERP solutions are created by industry experts to help make every day easier. Seeing your whole supply chain is easier. Managing logistics is easier. Responding to price changes is easier. From small businesses with big dreams to growing enterprises with global vision, we'll equip you with the right tools to move forward, think ahead, and lead the way, because as the clock ticks down, you need to make the most out of every hard-working minute. Easier doesn't cut corners. Easier finds the lane. Discover your success at www.easierwithepicor.com. That is www.easierwithepicor.com.
And that's easy money.
I like it, G. There you go. The post sound effect. We talked about this earlier. Let's play it. Sean King and I sat down. We did 6 quarterback breakdowns for his top 6 NFL draft prospects. Today we start with his number 1 quarterback on the board, and that is Cam Ward. Steve, let's take it. All right, it's always great when we get a former NFL quarterback to help us break down whoever could potentially become the Browns' next quarterback. Sean King, former Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback, correctly identified Jaden Daniels as the belle of the ball in the 24 NFL draft. So, Sean, we're going to go through 5 different quarterback options here and figure out who's the best one for the Browns, and you're going to give us a little insight on what you like and what you don't like about some of these guys.
Well, here's what's interesting. Last year's class was really talented and really deep. I don't think this year's group is as talented or as deep, but that doesn't mean that we can't find quality NFL quarterback play in this class. So let's start with Cam Ward, who I think is unquestionably the number 1 quarterback in this draft. All of these kids are going to be productive coming out of college for the most part. They're older because of the COVID year. The offenses, the game is all geared more towards production. So statistically, you have to be careful on falling in love with a quarterback. And I think when you're really acute at evaluating, it's about traits. And as we get into the Cam Ward field, this is what I love about Ward. The most arm talent in this particular class, the most improvisation skills. And what I really like is he's gone to multiple programs and turn them into productive and winning teams. Haven't been able to win a championship yet, but he's proven that he makes your team, your organization better.
So with that, Sean, let's dive into a couple of plays. These 3 all come from Miami's game this season against Cal. Ward ended the game with 5 touchdown passes. None of these are actual scores. We picked some plays that you may not have seen yet to get a better understanding of what Cam Ward brings to the table as a prospect. And I'll let this roll. You tell me when to stop it, Sean, and break down what you see here from Cameron Ward.
Well, as you let this roll, just for context, you go ahead and start it, Mike. Remember, they had to come back to win this game. A lot of it was because some of the mistakes that Cam made. But we talk about football IQ. We talk about identifying coverages. And we go back to the sideline right quick. And you can see from the end zone, you see that safety running over there. This looks like a basic cover 2 look, but what they're really doing is playing cover 2 to the field and man to the boundary. If we go back to this is a combo coverage here by this Cal defense. Cam Ward realizes it, and this is what I love about him. That ball is right on the button. Like, he makes this decision. A great job of recognizing it. He sees the corner squat, so he doesn't have to out route, and he has the arm talent to put that ball accurately with velocity to that outside receiver. So I'm telling everyone, Cam Ward is unquestioned the number 1 quarterback in this draft. He's not my number 1 player, but this is one of the reasons. Recognition, arm talent, he has it all.
And Sean, real quick, when you mentioned arm talent, from the end zone angle, you can see it pretty well here, but that's a half step and let it rip. It's not like he's stepping into it, and certainly finds enough velocity to deliver that all the way to the numbers from across the hash mark.
Absolutely, and this is why I was really surprised that he didn't throw at the combine, because he has that it. Like, when you see 5 quarterbacks throwing side by side, like, you can tell the ball comes out different from a certain guy, and Cam's that guy. So I actually was pretty surprised that he didn't throw at the combine. But like you said, this is just one example. We're going to see a few more of his ability to really create torque and put velocity on the ball without having to step into his throws.
All right, play number 2 here, Sean. Same game, and Cam Ward once again showing off that arm talent that has many scouts calling him the unquestioned number 1 quarterback in this class.
He is. I mean, he's talented. I think if he's in last year's draft, New England's got a real conversation between him and Drake May, because I think they're kind of very similar. He's a little more experienced than Drake, but from a skill set standpoint, they're pretty similar. If you want to let it roll here, you just watch some of these throws and they translate. Kind of a half roll here, guy going back across the field. Just the ability to not have the receiver break stride, hit him in rhythm. Like, not a lot of guys can make this throw and do it accurately. And watch how effortlessly Cam does it. That's just like he's out, playing pitch and catch with you, Mikey, at the local park. And the ball
I would have caught it, for the record, Sean. If I'm the receiver, I'm catching. That's a perfectly thrown ball. Miami has to come away with 6 points on this throw.
You think this is 60 yards effortlessly on the button, maybe even 65 because of where he catches it in the end zone. And like all of these guys can't make this throw without putting complete torque into it. So, I mean, you see this jump out the film. I think his arm talent's unquestioned. He has a big-time NFL arm. And when I'm talking arm talent, I mean, the minute Cam Ward gets into the National Football League, he's in the top 20% of quarterbacks already in the National Football League as far as arm talent. Like, so you're getting a piece of clay that has elite traits.
All right, Sean, we're doing 3 plays for each quarterback. This is the 3rd and final play from the Miami-Cal game for Cam Ward. And after listening to you from the first 2 plays, it seems like in this draft class, it is Cam Ward, then it's everybody else.
Yeah, and I think it's a large separation, in my opinion, between whoever's going to be number 2. And we'll get into that as we go through the clips of some of the other guys. But, here's just another example of Cam in the pocket. You see he's directing the safety by pointing to the single receiver side. He comes back, throws the ball over the underneath coverage in front of the deep coverage, and does it with great ball location, great torque, velocity. Not a lot of guys can effortlessly make these throws, and I think he's trying to point to the ref. He's helping referee the play at the same time as he's telling the ref that illegal participation by Cal. You see they got a guy running off. And I'll be honest with you, I'm glad that happened, because one of the only hesitations I have with Cam is I think sometimes he's a little too free at quarterback. He's a little too carefree, I guess careless at times. It doesn't really result in a lot of turnovers, 39 touchdowns, only 7 picks. But he will have to mature slightly with some of the things that he does, just from an antic standpoint. But the talent is unquestioned.
Well, we know where he stands on him. I mean, he likes him clearly as the best quarterback in this draft. My whole problem with it is, are you going to bank on your entire future on taking the best guy in a subpar quarterback class? I'm just not excited about this class. I wouldn't be excited about whomever they draft. I just wouldn't. I think that there's opportunities for all of those guys to become good NFL quarterbacks. Timing is everything. And last year would have been the year to be sitting at number 2, not this year. And because of that, there's still great players in this draft at other positions. I don't know that you want to look back 5 years from now and have them say, what were we doing taking a quarterback number 2 in a bad quarterback draft?
I think sometimes, in a vacuum, when we say we're not excited about the quarterbacks, or we're not excited about the people coming out, there's a level of responsibility that goes on your coaching staff that they have to take average players and make them good, and good players great. Like, that is, it's just not a ball of clay that just comes from college to the pros, and then it's just the prospect's job to get good. No, we talk about the Guardians all the time. Like, I don't know why we don't look at it the same way in other sports like basketball and football. The Guardians take people all the time and turn them into really good pitchers. Guys who've had Tommy John, guys who've bounced around the minor leagues. They get them and put them in their program, and those guys are good. So to me, I know it's the most difficult position to get right and to figure out. But at some point in time, if you want to be a head coach in this league, you are going to have to stake your claim on a quarterback. Now, for the Browns, they've had opportunities to do that in other ways. Baker didn't work out, right? Okay. Deshaun Watson didn't work out. Okay. You didn't go after those guys. That wasn't Kevin Stefanski's doing. But he has an opportunity to get the best guy in said draft, or one of the best two guys in the draft, and develop them and make something out of it. That's all you can ask for, right? You know, timing sucks, but all you can ask for is the opportunity to go do it. And he's going to have to show and prove that that's what he can do.
Am I crazy when I look at Cam Ward, I see like early career Deshaun?
No.
In
Not at
terms
all.
of, I mean, they look so similar.
Especially that powerful throw outside the numbers.
Yeah.
He just resemble. He plays like he used to play.
It looks a lot like Clemson Deshaun and early Houston Deshaun to me. And I'm not saying that is a bad thing. Like, that's a really good quarterback.
You aren't kidding.
You know what he don't like, Jason? Big Nuggets can tell you this. Here's what people don't like when he said he does some immature antic things. So Cam Ward will scramble, right? He'll be 5 or 6 yards, 5 or 6 steps from out of bounds. And he'll slightly trot, AKA / walk out of bounds. Like while the defenders are chasing him.
Yeah.
Right? And he does things where he'll throw off his back foot and it'll look like he's just throwing the ball.
He does that pretty
Like,
frequently.
look, he just like no look type stuff. And it's like, okay, you can get that off in college. But if you are a quarterback guru, I know you had to see those type of plays when you was cutting the film up, because he does it 2 or 3 times a game where he's by out of bounds and he just kind of walks out of bounds and he kind of flips the ball to the ref. And they're like,
One
no.
of the things Sean said on that, G, is Cam Ward hates, and he used the word hate, and I think when you go back and watch, I think it's actually an appropriate word, to throw the ball away. He will tiptoe around the sidelines and try to make something out of nothing in situations where throwing the ball out of bounds, living to see another down is probably
He's
the right
going to have to learn
situation.
how to throw it out of bounds, or it's going to be going the other way.
You aren't kidding.
And I don't think Kevin Stefanski wants that. If
No.
you look at the turnovers that they've had, even for Flacco, 13, 14 turnovers. Jameis Winston, turnovers.
The reason Jameis Winston is not back on this team is because of the turnovers.
Sure.
One touchdown, 10 interceptions for DTR. I don't think he wants that style of play. I don't. I think he wants Shedeur Sanders. I think he's just like, listen, I know he may be more popular, or he has more potential. I think he has better traits. His arm may be better. But Shedeur don't throw the ball to the other team. Now, what Shedeur will do is take a sack when he don't need to.
Honestly, and this may be a severe oversimplification because this sounds harder than what I'm going to make it seem. If you can get to the third read and you don't throw it to the other team, you can win with Kevin can win with you. That's it. Get to the third read because somebody's going to be open. If you can process to the third read, get to the third read, don't throw it to the other team. He can win with that.
I think that's what he wants.
I mean,
Did P.J. Walker process to the third read? I'm being genuine. Like I'm genuinely asking that.
I
Was
think
that kind of the exception?
I think PJ was probably like a 2-read.
Yeah.
2-read and throw it away.
Yeah.
Yeah, he certainly wasn't.
But if you can get to the third, and there's a lot of guys you could say that about in the NFL, but if you can get to the third read and you need the protection hold and all that, I get it.
yeah.
But and Shedeur, like I see a lot of reasons why Kevin would like Shedeur.
Shedeur will stand in there and take the sack, man.
He's tough as hell.
He is tough.
And he's not going to be afraid of the moment.
Yeah.
He'll deal with the scrutiny. He grew up the son of Dion. Like he can handle it. He can
Yeah.
handle the stage. He doesn't throw it to the other team. He's accurate. There's a lot of things that I think that Kevin could look at and say, I can work with
He
that.
reminds me of like, and I don't know if anybody has said this. He kind of reminds me of like a Brock Purdy. Like he's not super arm strength, but you know he could get the ball there. Like he's not uber athletic, but you know he can get out of traffic a little bit. I just think he's more of a drop traditional. But listen, I think
I've heard some Jimmy G comps, G.
I listen. I like that one too. I just think people think when you hear Shedeur like he's some gunslinger.
No, he's not. No.
That's not. He's not a gunslinger,
No, he's
bro.
definitely not that.
He's not that.
Hell, how many times was he sacked last year?
I don't have it off the top of my head, but a
It
lot.
was an
His offensive line struggled. mightily.
extraordinary
was it
number.
Lewis? Was it Lewis? I think it was Lewis Riddick who said he did some of their games and saw Dion like pleading with him on the sideline, Throw the ball away.
Yeah.
Stop getting pummeled.
Yeah.
Throw the ball away.
Because if you take that kind of a beating in the NFL, these guys are 40 pounds heavy.
You're not going to last a season.
They're faster. They're going to put you on the
men.
IL.
You're getting hit by kids in college. You're getting hit by grown men in the NFL.
Yeah,
he was
it's a big
sacked
difference.
52 times in 2023 and 42 times in 2024.
It's 100 sacks in 2 years.
And at Jackson State, 35 times as a freshman, 23 times is his sophomore year. So in 4 seasons, 35, 23, 52, 42.
Nearly 160
Is
sacks.
it just me? And I'll just ask you guys. I'm kind of excited to see any new quarterback.
After what you've been eating for the last.
Right. I just look. If they wanted to get this, not that I'm excited about Kenny Pickett, but at this point, I'm listen. If you want to bring Cam Ward, Shador, Dart, you like Will Howard.
If you look at the number of quarterbacks we've seen in the last 2 years play football for the Cleveland Browns, I'm not excited to see another one. I'm excited to see a good one under the age of 38 that doesn't throw interceptions.
If you get me 24, anything under 25 years old, I could have hope in that.
28.
Yeah, because
28.
I could have hope in that.
27.
Right.
I don't want 38.
Yeah, at least give me a couple games
That's why I said Trey Lance and Desmond Ritter. Just throw out
they
some
fit that bill.
Just throw out some camp bodies. They may not make it to the end of August.
Right.
Okay, fine. At least take a look at them. Nobody else is interested in them. Take a look at them. But if they go into the NFL season with Kenny Pickett and 2 rookies as the quarterbacks on this team, I'm okay with that.
Oh yeah. At least I got something.
If they draft 2 rookies, fine.
I go to camp and you know what we'll do? We'll drink the Kool-Aid. we'll get the
We'll
Kool-Aid
have them 13-4 by September 1st.
Right. We'll have we find our franchise quarterback.
Now, you said you weren't going to do that this year.
Nah, I listen.
We're going to have to bring G out
Bring me-
Hannibal Lecter. We're going to have
Bring
to
me
strap
back.
him
March.
But it's
March.
Listen.
Strap him to a 2-wheeler with a ball gag.
Yeah,
because-
listen, I'm trying to. Because boy, they give me 2 quarterbacks, I'd have been sold $2,500 a piece for both of them. 2 quarterback systems we've been doing.
Operation Stockpile.
15 touchdowns each.
We got package on the goal line. Come on, man.
Speaking of Shador, Sean will be back tomorrow with his Shador breakdown, so make sure you guys tune into that.
I'm curious to see that.
Tyler Shook
I'm curious to see what he
Wednesday.
thinks.
That's a good one.
Of
But
Shador
tomorrow
and
we
Shook.
got Shador on.
Shook's another one.
He's
Shook's
another
a name that
dude.
keeps
He's
climbing.
rising.
Yep.